Oh, Flounder, it's a dingle hopper.
Cool!
I bet that place is full of treasure. Come on!
Wait for me!
Welcome to King Triton's Kingdom! Type in your name using your keyboard. When you're done, click on Go. Go!
It's not easy being a mermaid. I guess that's because I've always been so interested in the world up there on the surface.
Interested? Girl, you are totally preoccupied!
My friend Flounder helps me find wonderful treasures in the ocean. Things that people have lost.
Click on Ariel's bubble if you'd like to hear her read to you again. When you click on a word in a box, it changes to another word that means the same thing. Look.
Wrapped up. Immersed.
Please, don't tell the Sea King that his daughter collects human things.
I'll let you in on a little secret. I have big plans for that mermaid.
You found a special sticker. There's a hidden bottle containing a sticker in many of the places you'll go. When you find one, I'll add it to your collection. You can use them to make your own stories later in your journey.
Yo-ho, yo-ho, a pirate's life for me! Polly wants a minnow! Here you are, fishy!
Ariel! Ariel! Help! I'm stuck!
Oh, Flounder.
It sure is, spooky down here. It looks dangerous. We'd better go.
Don't be such a guppy.
I'm not a guppy.
Have you ever seen anything so wonderful?
That's cool. I wonder what it is.
You found the way to the next part of the story. Click again if you're ready to go. If you're not, just click anywhere else.
Ariel had a special place where she hid all the human things she found on the ocean floor. A secret grotto.
Look at all this, Sebastian. Isn't it incredible?
Her father, King Triton, was worried about her. I was the only one he could trust to watch over Ariel and keep her out of danger. Concerned. Upset.
Nobody knows about this secret place except Flounder, Sebastian, and you.
Ariel had a special place where she hid all...
Ha! Triton has the little crab following Ariel around. A lot of good that's gonna do her.
Not bad. If you can wear that sort of thing.
Charming.
You found a special sticker. There's a hidden bottle containing a sticker in many of the places you'll go. When you find one, I'll add it to your collection. You can use them to make your own stories later in your journey.
Phew. It is the small world after all.
I just love sea anemones. Anemones. Anemones, that's it. Would somebody mind giving a poor crab some help, please?
Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything? Look at this trove, treasures untold. How many wonders can one cavern hold? Looking around here you think, sure, she's got everything. I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I've got who's-its and what's-its galore. You want thingamabobs? I got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. I want to be where the people are. I want to see 'em dancing, walking around on those, what do you call 'em? Oh, feet. Flipping your fins, you don't get too far. Legs are required for jumping, dancing, strolling along down a, what's that word again? Street. Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. Wish I could be part of that world. What would I give if I could live out of these waters? What would I pay to spend a day warm on the sand? Betcha on land they understand, bet they don't reprimand their daughters. Bright young women, sick of swimming, ready to stand and ready to know what the people know. Ask 'em my questions and get some answers. What's a fire and why does it, what's the word, burn? When's it my turn? Wouldn't I love to explore that shore up above, out of the sea. Wish I could be part of that world.
your grotto. See? There's your name. Lots of animals want to come and visit you here. To invite animals that swim around, click on these buttons. To see more, click on one of these arrows. To add sea life that stays in one place, click on one of these buttons. You'll then be able to put them anywhere you want. To take a picture of the animals or plants you added to your grotto, click on the camera. Well, I guess that's it. Have fun under the sea. Coral. That's pretty. Kelp. I'd like to play hide and go seek in that. Sea anemone. They're pretty. Sea fan. Cool. Giant clam. Neato. Camera.
This is one of the fish fact cards. To hear a fun fact, click on one of the pictures of the starfish. Click on the printer to print out this card. A sea fan looks a lot like a flat bush or a colored palm leaf. But a sea fan is not a plant. It is a colony of many tiny animals. Sea fans are often brightly colored red, purple, or yellow. Sea fans are close cousins to corals. Corals make hard skeletons that feel like limestone or concrete. But sea fan animals grow softer skeletons that can bend and wave. Each of the tiny sea fan animals in a sea fan eats very tiny animals and plants as they float by.
Camera.
Kelp is the biggest kind of plant in the ocean. Most sea plants are very tiny and float and drift with the water. But kelp plants attach to the bottom and grow up to the surface. California coastal waters are famous for big kelp forests. They provide home and shelter for many kinds of animals. Sharks, sea otters, and fish live in kelp forests. The tops of kelp forests have many leaves that float on the surface. You can see the tops of kelp forests just by looking from the land.
Camera.
Giant clams live on coral reefs in the Pacific Ocean. A very large giant clam has a shell big enough to be a baby's bathtub. The clam and its shell weigh more than a pro football player. It takes more than 50 years for a giant clam to grow to its biggest size. Special tiny plants live in the soft body of the clam and help it grow. The plants give the clam's flesh a brownish-green color. They use sunlight to make food and share the food with the clam. In return, the plants get a safe place to live.
Camera.
Tiny coral animals the size of pinheads build giant coral reefs. Some coral reefs, like the Great Barrier Reef of Australia, are big enough to see from a space station.
close, a coral animal looks like a very small sea anemone. Its mouth is in the middle of a round body. All around the mouth are long bumps with poison cells. Coral animals use the poison cells to catch tiny animals to eat. Corals are relatives of jellyfish. They build rocky reefs from salts dissolved in seawater. Coral skeletons are hard like concrete. The big hard reefs built by tiny coral animals are home for many other bigger creatures. Sharks, eels, and lionfish all live on coral reefs.
Camera!
Sea anemones are relatives of jellyfish. Jellyfish can swim around to find food, but sea anemones are stuck to the bottom and must wait for food to float by. So most anemones live in water that moves a lot, bringing a lot of food. Anemones have poison cells around their mouths to help them catch their food. Anemone is a tongue twister to say out loud. Practice saying it slowly. Anemone. How fast can you say it?
Dolphin. Ooh, I love those. Clownfish. They're going to leave your grotto now. Click that button again when you want them to come back. Crab. He reminds me of Sebastian. Angelfish. Those are pretty. Octopus. Remind you of anyone we know? Crab. Camera.
Believe it or not, an octopus is related to snails, clams, mussels, and squids. All these animals are called mollusks. All mollusks have tubes that suck in water and blow it out. Octopus use their tubes for jet propulsion when they want to swim fast. An octopus has 8 legs with strong suckers. Their relatives, squids, have 10 legs. Both octopus and squid are excellent hunters. By the way, more than one octopus can be called octopi, octopuses, or even octopus. Take your pick. There are many kinds of octopus. Some are small and can be held inside your hand. Others are big and can weigh more than a 4-year-old child. Octopus are good hunters. They see shrimp, crabs, and snails with their big eyes. They grab and hold on with their strong sucker-covered arms, then bite down with their strong, sharp beaks. Some octopus use their beaks to drill holes in the shells of snails. Then they suck out the body of the snail. I guess the flash scared everybody off. Oh, here they come.
Camera.
A dolphin looks a lot like a shark. Both a shark and a dolphin have a big fin on their back. They both have sharp teeth and hunt, chase, and eat other animals. But a dolphin is very different from a shark. Dolphins are more like people. They have lungs, not gills, so they have to breathe air at the surface. To breathe, a dolphin uses a hole in the top of its head. When you use a snorkel, you are breathing like a dolphin. Mother dolphins feed their babies with milk. Dolphins live in families and talk to each other with sounds and songs. Here's a good way to quickly tell a dolphin from a shark. A dolphin's tail moves up and down. A shark's tail moves from side to side.
Camera.
Angelfish add bright colors to coral reefs around the world. Their radiant colors and graceful calm remind people of angels. Young angelfish, the size of a large coin, are often colored differently from adults, about the size of your hand. Angelfish have long, thin teeth that look like the bristles of a brush. They use their teeth to pick tiny sponges and sea squirts off the bottom to eat. All angelfish have one big spine on each cheek.
Camera.
Clownfish are not very funny, but like circus clowns, they are brightly colored and sometimes have red and white faces. Clownfish live on coral reefs, on and around large sea anemones. These sea anemones are as big as small rugs. Some people call them carpet anemones. The fuzzy rug parts of anemones are covered with poison cells. Only clownfish are safe from these deadly cells. Carpet anemones are safe places for clownfish to live and raise their families. Clownfish eat scraps of the anemone's food. Mother clownfish stick their tiny eggs on the rocks under the anemone. Baby clownfish and adults swim above and around the anemone, and, if threatened by a fish or diver, the clownfish dive for cover among the tentacles.
Camera.
Crabs have strong legs with many joints. In the sea, crab relatives include shrimp and lobsters. On land, crab relatives include cockroaches and ants. All these animals have legs with joints. Like shrimps and lobsters, crabs also have good eyes. A crab's body and muscles are inside the hard covering of its shell. A growing crab can get too big for its shell. Have you ever outgrown your clothes? Maybe you got newer, bigger clothes. A growing crab wriggles out of the old shell, leaves it behind, and grows a new one. For a while, the crab's new shell is soft. Soon the shell gets hard. A big crab is probably living in at least its 10th shell.
Sea dolphin. Clownfish. Crab. Angelfish. Octopus. Octopus. Porcupine fish. Look, catfish. I love those. Lobster. What big claws he has. Dogfish. His bark is worse than his bite. Eel. Everyone better be careful around that guy. Camera.
A porcupine fish only has 2 teeth, one in its upper jaw, one in its lower jaw. The big, strong teeth crush the hard bodies of crabs and snails that porcupine fish eat. The skin of most fish is covered with flat scales. Instead of scales, the skin of porcupine fish is covered with long, pointed, movable spines. Most of the time, the spines lie flat against the skin, like carefully brushed back hair. When scared by a diver, big fish, or shark, a porcupine fish fills its stomach with water. As it puffs up, the spines all stick out. The resulting spiny ball is not an attractive meal. But some big, tough-tummied tiger sharks eat porcupine fish anyway. Porcupine fish have poisonous flesh. Eating a lot of it can kill humans. Even so, some people like to eat very small amounts of it served in special ways. This delicacy is called fugu.
Camera!
Lobsters are big cousins of crabs and shrimp. They have jointed legs and good eyes. Some lobsters have big front claws strong enough to break a pencil. Clawed lobsters live off the coast of New England. They call them Maine lobsters. People love to eat them. Other kinds of lobsters live in warmer waters around kelp forests or coral reefs. These lobsters don't have big claws. People call them spiny lobsters.
Camera!
Catfish don't meow. They look like cats only because of the whiskers on their cheeks and around their mouths. A cat's whiskers are hair. A catfish's whiskers are covered with skin. A better name for a catfish's whiskers is feelers. Catfish use their feelers to feel around for food in muddy and sandy bottoms. Skin on these feelers can taste food buried in mud before the catfish eats it. Some catfish have poison spines to protect them from other fish.
Camera!
Moray eels may look like snakes, but they are really just long, skinny fish. Morays often hunt in the dark, at night, or in caves and cracks. Like most good hunters, they have big teeth. Because they breathe through their mouths and gills, like other fish, morays show their teeth a lot. This makes them look scary like a growling wolf, but they are just breathing. Morays need a good sense of smell to find food. They have 2 pairs of nostrils they use to follow odors. At least one pair has long movable tubes to find faint smells.
Camera!
Dogfish are small sharks, about as long as a grown person's arm. Dogfish live over the deep sea bottom near cool water coastlines like California, Massachusetts, and England. Unlike other sharks, a dogfish has a sharp spine on its back. A dogfish doesn't have a fin on the bottom of its body like other sharks. Like most other sharks, dogfish have 5 gill slits on each side of its head. Behind the slits are the blood-filled gills that help a dogfish to breathe underwater.
whale. Dogfish. Lobster. Catfish. Porcupine fish. Flounder. Hey, I don't look like that. Grunt. He sure makes funny noises. Ray. She's graceful. Lionfish. Loudmouth. Jellyfish. Awesome. Camera.
Lionfish live around coral reefs in warm water. They have big, beautiful fins and stripes of orange, brown, and red. A better name would probably be tigerfish. Like lions and tigers, lionfish are good hunters. Lionfish have big mouths and teeth. When a lionfish opens its mouth very fast, the water in front of it and whatever is in that water gets sucked in. Then the lionfish clamps its mouth shut, spits the water out of its gills, and chomps on the fish or shrimp it sucked in. Look closely at the spiny ends of the fins on the lionfish's back. Lionfish can inject poison with these spines. These sharp spines protect lionfish from other animals with big mouths. Lionfish look really big in a close-up photo, but most of them are smaller than a basketball.
Camera. Camera.
Flounders are flat fish with both eyes on one side of their heads. Halibut, sole, and turbot are cousins to flounders. All of these fish are called flatfish. A flatfish hatches from a tiny egg. Right after it hatches, a baby flatfish looks like most other fish. It has one eye on the left side of its body and one eye on the right side. As it grows, one side of its head grows very fast. The other side grows slowly. This makes both eyes end up on one side of its head. Some flatfish have their eyes on their left sides. Others have their eyes on their right side. Flatfish lie on the bottom on their blind side. The side with eyes looks up. A flounder can lie very flat against the ocean bottom and blend in with the background. This camouflage protects it from being eaten and also helps it sneak up on animals it wants to eat. Having both eyes on the same side of its head doubles its chances for seeing another fish.
Camera.
Grunts are fish that grunt. A grunt makes its noise with big teeth in its throat. It grinds the teeth together. A balloon-like sac inside the grunt's body makes the noise louder. Grunts grunt to warn each other of danger. Some people call grunts by another name. They call them sweet lips because they have big lips. They use their lips to pick up food from the bottom.
Camera.
Rays are flattened relatives of sharks. Most of a ray's wide, flat body is formed from the same kind of side fins that sharks have. Many rays live on the bottom and eat clams and shrimp. Other rays, like the manta ray in this photo, live far above the bottom. They eat tiny animals that float in the water. Rays Rays have long, thin tails that look like whips. The backbone of a ray goes almost all the way to the end of the tail. There is a big spine at the base of the tail of most rays. This spine is a special kind of scale. A manta has a pair of scoops around its mouth to help push food in.
Camera!
Jellyfish float through the sea looking a lot like tiny spaceships. But jellyfish are animals that swim and hunt. To move forward, a jellyfish squeezes watery muscles in its body and pushes water backward. A fringe of tubes surrounds a jellyfish's body. These are called tentacles. They are covered with very tiny poison cells. The jellyfish uses this poison when hunting food. Most kinds of jellyfish have two stages in their lives. During one stage, they live attached to the bottom. Then, they grow up during the second stage to be the free-swimming jellyfish we usually see. The name for the free-swimming jellyfish is Medusa.
Jellyfish. Lionfish. Ray. Grunt. Flounder. Moodfish. That fish is always changing colors. Shark. I'm not scared of a shark. Grouper. That's a big one. Seahorse. Giddy up! Marlin. He's got a long nose, doesn't he? Camera.
Marlin are big silvery blue swordfish that live in the warm open sea. They can swim very fast and sometimes jump completely out of the water. The hard, long, pointed sword of a marlin is its upper jaw. Some people call the sword a bill, like that of a bird. No one knows exactly how marlin use their swords, but here's what most scientists think. A marlin swims into a school of fish and whips its sword from side to side. The hard edge of the sword stuns some fish. Then, the marlin turns and gulps them into its mouth.
Camera.
Many kinds of sharks live in the ocean. Some kinds are small enough to hold in one hand. Some are bigger than people. One of the biggest is the great white shark. A newborn baby white shark is as long as a 5-year-old child. An adult white shark can be as long as a taxi cab. Young great white sharks eat fish. Older and bigger great white sharks eat seals. There are more than 350 species of sharks in the world's oceans, and even in some rivers and lakes. No one knows exactly how many kinds of sharks there are because new ones are still being discovered. Some sharks lay eggs. Other sharks deliver live babies called pups. All sharks are predators. They eat other animals, but less than 75 people are hurt by sharks every year. Despite their name, seahorses are really fish, not horses. A seahorse is not covered with scales like most fish. Instead, the body of a seahorse is made of large, flat plates joined together. This makes a seahorse's body feel hard, like a crab shell. They breathe using a pair of gills. The gills are under the place where the ears would be on a horse's head. What looks like a pair of horse's ears is a set of very flexible fins. The fins can wave very fast and push the seahorse back and forth and up and down. Seahorse fathers have a pouch on the front of their bodies. The mother seahorse puts her eggs in this pouch. The eggs hatch out tiny baby seahorses. They live safely in their father's pouch for more than a week. Then they leave to live on their own.
Camera!
Groupers are big-mouthed hunters that live around coral reefs. Like most other hunters, groupers have good teeth and excellent eyesight. A grouper doesn't chase the fish it eats. Instead, it ambushes them. A grouper stays very still and lurks in the shadows. When a tasty fish swims by, the grouper opens its mouth very fast. The water in front of the grouper rushes in to fill the big empty mouth. The tasty fish gets sucked in with the water. The grouper doesn't even have to move out of the shadows.
Camera!
All animals have two main jobs. One job is to eat. Their other job is to not be eaten. Camouflage, try saying it, camouflage, helps some animals do both jobs. Animals with camouflage look like the place around them. Camouflaged animals stay very still. Animals that want to eat them can't see them and go away. Animals they want to eat can't see them either and come close. Flatfish have good camouflage. They can change the color pattern of their skin to match the bottom. Other masters of camouflage are octopus, groupers, seahorses, crabs, and young angelfish.
Marlin! Seahorse. Grouper. Shark. Moodfish. Barracuda. He's kind of scary. Starfish. That's beautiful. Sea turtle. Look at that old slowpoke go. Anglerfish. How does she do that? Sergeant Major. That fish is always giving orders.
This deep-sea anglerfish looks huge, but is only about as big as a softball. In the dark, deep sea, where anglerfish live, food is hard to find. The anglerfish uses dagger-shaped teeth and a big mouth to hold and swallow small fish and shrimp. To attract the small fish, the anglerfish dangles a glowing lure on the end of a fishing pole. The pole is really a part of the fin on the anglerfish's back. The glow of an anglerfish is caused by special bacteria that live within the fish's lure, a ball of flesh at the end of the pole. The light is produced by a chemical reaction in the bacterial cells. A similar reaction also happens in fireflies and in deep-sea sharks.
Camera!
Slim, strong, silvery bodies and big eyes, big teeth, and big mouths make barracudas excellent hunters. A big barracuda can be longer than a 10-year-old girl is tall. A hunting barracuda stays very still, floating high above the bottom. When it sees a fish meal swim by, the barracuda's strong tail pushes it into high speed, and it grabs a small fish from a passing school. The silvery body of a barracuda helps it to match the bright background that other fish see when they look toward the surface. By matching the brightness, the barracuda is actually hidden from the view of fish beneath it.
Camera!
The bold stripes on Sergeant Major fish remind people of the stripes on a soldier's uniform. These coral reef fish look like they boss around other fish, but they are only guarding their nests. Sergeant Majors chew away plants to make a smooth place on a rock for their nests. Then they stick eggs on the rock and guard them until they hatch. Sergeant Majors defend their nests and their turf by boldly facing off other fish and trying to scare them away. Sergeant Majors will even nip curious snorkelers who come too close to their nests. Sergeant Majors are close relatives of clownfish and the golden Garibaldi of California. All of these fish belong to a group called damselfishes. All damselfish tend to be bossy and try to chase other animals away from their homes.
Camera!
This candy cane starfish lives in the warm waters around the island of Borneo. But there are hundreds of kinds of starfish living all over the ocean, in waters that are shallow, deep, warm, or cold. Most starfish have 5 arms, but others have dozens of arms. A starfish's mouth is at the center of the bottom of its body, where all the arms meet. Starfish feed on slow animals that sit or crawl on the seafloor. To eat a clam, a starfish pushes its own stomach out of its mouth and into the clam shell. The starfish digests the clam and then pulls its stomach back inside its own body. Starfish can regrow their arms if 1 or 2 get bitten off by a fish or crab or shrimp. Some starfish on coral reefs look like shooting stars because they have 3 or 4 small arms in the process of growing back and a long arm that has not been bitten off.
Camera!
Mother green sea turtles lay eggs the size of ping pong balls in nest holes they dig in sandy beaches. Dozens of baby turtles, each as small as the palm of your hand, hatch in each nest. They dig their way out of the sand and crawl rapidly to the water and swim out to sea. sea turtles live in warm waters around Hawaii, Mexico, South Florida, and other hot places. Adult green sea turtles eat seaweed. Some swim a long way between nesting areas and feeding grounds. Turtles have lungs and must come to the surface to take a breath.
Moodfish. That fish is always changing colors. Shark. I'm not scared of a shark. Grouper. That's a big one. Seahorse. Giddy up! Marlin. He's got a long nose, doesn't he? Grouper. Flounder. Hey, I don't look like that. Grunt. He sure makes funny noises. Ray. She's graceful. Lionfish. Loudmouth. Jellyfish. Awesome. Porcupine fish. Looks can be deceiving. Catfish. I love those. Lobster. What big claws he has. Dogfish. His bark is worse than its bite. Eel. Everyone better be careful around that guy. Lobster. Octopus. Remind you of anyone we know? Angelfish. Those are pretty. Crab. He reminds me of Sebastian. Clownfish. They're funny. Dolphin. Oh, I love those. Kelp. We'll be waiting for you. Come back soon.
Click on me to play in the Make Your Own Grotto activity.
Quit. Goodbye! Come back to visit us under the sea.